So get this right, I'm living with a mosquito at the moment and it bit me right here. I mean, why? Why? There's nothing here to eat. It's all bony and unpalatable. I mean, help yourself to a vein or something like that. I mean, they already kind of have, to be honest.
Are you a uni student or an early professional with no real time, money, or skills? You've come to the right goddamn place. Welcome to The Bad Chef. Fast and cheap meals for fast and cheap people.
My name is Chi and I'm the Bad Chef. If you want to be fit, the first thing you should do is to cook your own food. Interestingly, this advice comes from somebody called Sasha Grey, who is a well-known American author. But in any case, she's right. Because if you can decide what's going into your own body, that's better than letting a multinational corporation decide for you. Because their priorities are sales and profit, and they don't really care about your health that much. So even if you cook your food without a particularly healthy agenda in mind, you're already keeping a subconscious tab of what you're putting into your body, so there are no hidden ingredients there. And that way, you're already ahead of the game. The next step though is to be conscious of what you're fueling your body with. Now this is basically what is called the pornstar diet. So, if you eat and go to the gym like you host an OnlyFans account, you will look OnlyFans ready. And just because you're eating like you're going to be showing your body to a bunch of strangers on the internet, it doesn't mean that you have to compromise on flavor. So, today I'm going to be showing you one of my go-to meals for turning your body into a sex weapon. Mind you, a sex weapon that's used responsibly and consensually. Yeah. Anyway, let's go.
Today, we're going to revisit Barramundi.
Last time we made barramundi, it was in our first episode ever. So we're going to revisit barramundi today, but instead of frying it, we're going to steam it. Now, steaming is one of the healthiest ways to cook something, but it often cops a bad rep for being bland. And that's because fried food undergoes this reaction called the maillard reaction, which occurs between 140 degrees C and 165 degrees C. And what that does, in that range, the amino acids and sugars react together to form this crispy brown layer on the food, which is why so many foods are cooked at over 165 degrees C in a pan or in the oven. But since water only really goes up to 100 degrees C under standard atmospheric temperatures and pressures, we won't have that effect. But because it's not as aggressive as frying something, steaming works incredibly well with things that are more delicate and detailed, like whitefish. It preserves some of the sugars so it tastes sweeter. So for something like freshly bought barramundi, it is just perfect. And with regards to flavor, there's no better pairing than a classic Cantonese-style ginger and spring onion combo. Look, if you know how to steam a fish with ginger and spring onion, you will impress any Asian parent who knows what is what. Say there's a cute Asian girl, you've made some progress with her, you want to impress her mom and dad, cook them a whole barramundi with ginger and spring onions. Because not only does it taste banging, it's technical enough to show a little bit of finesse while being traditional enough to impress an Asian parent. So, you can have your pornstar body while you're lam kue maba. Now, for the purposes of today's demonstration, we're using a single barramundi fillet. That should run for about $25 to $30 a kilo at your local supermarket. So about 250 grams here, roughly $6. Because Lord knows you're cooking for one. You're only at the gym because you're single. Either that or because you've been sitting at your office job for the past 12 hours without getting out your seat a single time. But regardless of the reason, let's get cooking.
So, in terms of ingredients, what you'll need is 1 barramundi fillet, 1 or 2 stalks of spring onion, a solid knob of ginger, seasoned soy sauce for fish, oyster sauce, peanut oil or canola, plus some salt. To prep it, all you'll need to do is to grate the ginger and to chop the spring onion. Once that's done, boil some water in a steamer tower. If you don't have a steamer tower, you can use an elevated plate in a covered wok or pan. For me, I'm also going to lightly oil the base of the steamer basket to stop the fish from sticking. Then, salt the fish, pat on the grated ginger, then carefully place the fillet into the steamer. Steam for about 7 to 8 minutes. If you took the fish straight out of the refrigerator, you might also have to let it steam on low heat for a little longer. Now, this next technique is something called zaan in Cantonese. I cover this in one of my shorts, but basically it's pouring hot oil over aromatics so that it dissolves the flavors and percolates down into your food. So, to do this, about 2 minutes before the fish is done, heat up some oil in a separate saucepan until it's just about to smoke. When the fish is done, lift it out of the steamer and place it into a wide bowl. Spread the spring onions over the fish, then pour the hot oil over the top. Add a little soy sauce, and then you're done.
Now, if you want to pair your fish with some veg, you can either use gailan or broccolini or the ginger sauce fried kale from season 1 episode 9. That works really well. But today I just happened to have some broccoli lying about in the fridge, so I put that in the steamer for about 2 minutes, and I'm serving it with oyster sauce. And oyster sauce is magical because it makes any steamed vegetable taste like the absolute tits. I will live and die by oyster sauce. Oh, that's perfectly cooked. All right, here we go. Oh my God. You know what? I don't think I've said it this season just yet. And I can't believe it's taken me so long to say it this season. I'm gonna say it. You ready for it? It's packed with fucking umami! Hell yes. So that lightly salty soy sauce, right? It mixes in with the oil that's carrying all that gingery and spring oniony goodness. And it whacks a frankly stupid amount of flavor onto the sweet and tender barramundi. And it does so without overpowering it either. Oh my God. Mind you, if you want the ginger and spring onion to overpower you a little bit and, you know, hold you down, slap you in the face with a bit more yes daddy, there's a variation to the method that I could show you. Just let me eat for a little bit. Now, instead of pouring hot oil over the spring onions and ginger at the end of the cook, you could create something like a ginger and spring onion relish instead. In Cantonese, it's called geung tong yao, which literally translates to ginger and spring onion oil. And for those who know what's good, it's commonly paired with Hainan chicken or Chinese barbecue soy sauce chicken or noodles or dumplings. It's exactly the same thing. It's an absolute flavor bomb. It's super easy to make, so I've set aside some extra ingredients here just to show you guys after this cook. Anyway, you ready? Yeah, let's go.
While the fish is steaming, heat up some peanut oil in a small saucepan until it's shimmering. Turn off the heat, then add the ginger and spring onion to the oil. It should bubble up at this point. Keep agitating it, then add a dab of oyster sauce and a little salt, then stir until it's combined. And that's pretty much it done.
Alright, with this one, you can pretty much just spoon it on top of your fish and be done with it. And it tastes a little bit more flavoursome because we've actually cooked out the ingredients a little bit. Granted, it's not as pretty after we cooked it, but you don't need to look that pretty if you taste this good. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, pair it with poached chicken or dumplings or whitefish or even congee if you want to. Now, in terms of cost, you're looking at somewhere about $7.50 per serving. And that comes down to how expensive barramundi is that week and how expensive ginger is that week. So if barramundi is looking a little bit expensive that week, you can substitute it with any other whitefish like snapper, sea bass, trevally, ling, perch, pretty much anything. But I'd avoid basa or catfish because they usually suit more aggressive flavoring and cooking styles. But as far as a fitness meal goes on a pornstar diet, it's nothing quite like a steamed barramundi fillet with ginger and spring onions. So you can consider that done.
this could take some